The week of economic reform roundtable discussions have wrapped up and the main focus was on productivity, with pressure now on industries for action. And there was another report this week which ties in on the roundtables by Climate Energy Finance discussing the diesel fuel tax credit scheme. And joining us live is the creator of this reform and report, Tim Buckley, the Director of Climate Energy Finance. Great to see you.
Good afternoon, Jenny.
So a very comprehensive report as always. Talk us through the basics.
Thank you. The report is about calling for reform of the diesel fuel subsidy. What we've called for is a $50 million per company per annum cap to the diesel fuel rebate. So not one farmer, not one truck driver, not one small or medium-sized enterprise will be affected. It only affects the 15 largest mining companies in Australia. And we're calling for a $50 million cap. Now, if we just did that in isolation, BHP would be hit with an extra $500 million tax a year. Obviously, that's something even BHP would object to, understandably. But we have a massive headwind to the safeguard mechanism. On one hand, the government's saying we want you to decarbonise your Scope 1 emissions. On the other hand, we're providing $190 a tonne carbon subsidy for you to use high emissions imported diesel.
All right, and this was supported by the CEO of Andrew Fortescue, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Fortescue, with Andrew Forrest's leadership, has committed to driving decarbonisation of their entire Scope 1, Scope 2 emissions this decade. They are already on this journey. But what we're also... So it's great that they're supporting it, but we do need a whole Team Australia approach. At the end of the day, there is a massive technology disruption involved. There's a lot of training of new staff. It's electrification and decarbonisation of the mining sector. That's not going to come cheaply. So what we're proposing is that the government provides every dollar of extra tax raised straight back to those 15 miners to invest in mine electrification and decarbonisation. So it raises no new revenue, but it incentivises energy security, energy independence, decarbonisation, and a more cost-competitive structure once you remove the subsidies.
Now, I believe it's the 15th largest expenditure item on the budget.
Correct. It is enormous. In the last 20 years, Australia has provided $123 billion of subsidies. As you said, the 15th largest expenditure item in our federal budget, and we're effectively subsidising the importation of Middle East oil and diesel. And at the end of the day, we could replace that with domestic, zero emissions, low cost energy generated in Australia. It would be a massive shift from a headwind to decarbonisation to a tailwind. And I think it's also massively facilitated by the phenomenal technology and economic improvement in batteries and electric vehicles that we've seen coming out of China, that you and I have talked about many, many times. It is unbelievable, the technology innovation. And the president of BHP Australia, Geraldine Slattery, last week acknowledged that. She said, look, the traditional OEMs, original equipment suppliers, are not moving fast, but China is moving at light speed. Okay. So she is using different suppliers. The technology is there.
I believe there's like 1,000 batteries being installed a day in Australia, something like that.
The Minister Bowen's home energy battery storage system scheme is moving way beyond his wildest expectations. 1,000 batteries a day. That is showing the pace of technology change, and it shows we can do it and that it is economics. And so I'm all for this. I think it is a really logical way of driving and aligning the government's agenda and ensuring our major mining corporates are actually pulling their weight.
All right, and as you said, energy security as well. So, all right, sounds, very comprehensive again, and certainly that report people can find online.
Absolutely. Brilliant. Thanks very much for your time.
Always great to see you. Thank you, Tim.